the future and things that you love. So that's how I think it pertains to a minimalist lifestyle. So first I'm going to mention 3 ways that getting debt-free and continuing to live debt-free has completely changed my life. So first of all is marriage stress. I am married, if you did not know that, and I think it is pretty much common knowledge that the main reason why couples fight is over money and money problems. So since we decided to get out and stay out of debt, it allowed us to save up a lot of money. So therefore we honestly do not fight over money because we do not need a lot of money to make it by every single month, because I think in the average household quite a lot of the paychecks goes to debt payments and it leaves you with less buffer, less disposable income. So getting out of debt has allowed us just to relax and not have to worry about money all the time. So therefore we do not have any money related fights in our home, and that is just so good for our marriage, and we're just super happy about that, obviously, because nobody wants to fight, especially over money. The second way being debt-free changed my life completely is it allows me to focus on the future and live a future-oriented life. And I feel like I've talked about this before, but when you have debt, when you're paying for things that are in the past, food you already ate, vacations you already took, things that you have already done, it keeps you kind of living in the past. And this might be more of like a mental thing, at least it was for me, but it keeps you focusing on all the mistakes you've made in your past or all the things that you've already done. And when you get money in, it just goes to things that are already in the past. And I think it is very hard to be future oriented and optimistic about your future if you're continually paying for things that you have already done in the past. So I love it that now when money comes in, I can look at it and say, wow, there's so many things I can do with this to improve my life and my future, and for me this is like the best thing. And the third way going debt-free has changed my life is it allows me to save up money. When money does come in, like I just said, we do not have to spend it on things that are in the past. So of course we invest in the future a lot, focus on the future, and also put a good amount in our savings account, because saving and having a healthy savings account is such a good thing. I feel so good about having a savings account, having an emergency fund, something to fall back on, and it's just a great feeling, and I feel like my life has just gone a lot smoother since I've had an emergency fund. It's kind of funny, but it's really true that when you have money, even if it's just a small amount, if you have a buffer, the amount of emergencies that show up in your life are drastically decreased. Since my husband and I have gone debt-free, we have not experienced, honestly, any emergencies in the past 3 or 4 years. And I think this is because when you are broke, when you're in debt, when you have no money, no savings, every little thing feels like an emergency, and a simple flat tire can turn into a huge problem that causes, again, the fighting, and it's just a very stressful way to live when you never know how you can cover emergencies. So getting out of debt allowed us to save money, and therefore we don't really have emergencies anymore, which is so amazing. So you're probably saying, okay, Sarah, sounds great, but how do I get out of debt? I'm not like you who had one credit card to pay off. I've got student loans, I've got this, I've got that. I have so much debt, I have no idea where to start. And my advice for this is not original. These are not my ideas at all. I got all of my information about getting out of debt from Dave Ramsey. I talk about him all the time. I will link his YouTube channel down below, but he has such great information, and I'll just kind of summarize what he teaches and what really helped me. First of all, Dave Ramsey makes it super clear that you cannot save money and get out of debt at the same time. And I feel like this is an important note because I get so many comments, people messaging me saying, I really want to get out of debt and save money. And my answer is always like, you can't do both at the same time. You need to get out of debt before you can start saving money. Because if you're saving money but you're still in debt, it doesn't really make a difference. If you have $5,000 in debt and you have a $5,000 savings account, you're kind of at zero. So it's best to just focus on wiping out the debt first. So the advice that Dave Ramsey gives is, first you need to save up a small emergency fund. This can be between $500 and $1,000. Before you start paying off your debt, make sure you have that small emergency fund of $500 to $1,000 depending on your family's needs, because while you're paying off debt, if small things happen like the flat tire that I mentioned, or you need like a prescription medication, you want to make sure that you have enough to cover that. And $1,000, I don't know about you guys, but that covers most emergencies in my life for sure. So after you have your small emergency fund, start paying off your debts like a madman. And do not go in order of interest rate like a lot of people teach to go in order of interest rate, when in reality this is not like the best way to do it, because I think it is so important, and obviously Dave Ramsey talks about this, is you need to see the progress. When you want to change your life, you need the motivation to keep going, because things like this sometimes take a long time depending on how much debt you have. So what he recommends is to take all of your debts, write them all down, and pay them off from smallest to largest. So if you have a $80 hospital bill you've just been carrying for months and months, you know, and that's your smallest bill, pay it off first. Just wipe it out. It'll feel so good to get the bills just like minimized. So if you do smallest to largest, you can pay off the small ones quite fast, and then you'll start to feel less bills coming in and you'll be motivated to keep going. So paying them off smallest to largest is not like a numbers thing. Obviously people will argue like, oh, you should pay the highest interest rate first because then the bills are lower and yada yada. The point is you want to see progress. I can definitely say, like, in my experience, this is the best thing, because when you're changing your life, you want to see results, and you want to see results fast. So pay off your smallest bill and move up to the largest. And also, while you are paying off your debt, you need to get intense about it. You can't just say, okay, I have an extra $30 here, $50 there. Make this a priority in your life. Get the whole family involved and just, you know, make a big party every time you knock one of them out, and you have to get insanely intense. I love Dave Ramsey. He says you can wander your way into debt, but you cannot wander your way out, and I think that's so true. And this, for me personally, crossed over to so many things in my life. I realized that when I put fire behind whatever I'm doing, and intensity and dedication to whatever I'm doing in my life, things happen faster, things are easier, and it just kind of like keeps the momentum going of all the positive things happening. So just be intense about it. You know, I know it's painful to look at all of your bills and all of your debt, but you have to face it. You cannot live your life with your head buried into sand and just paying the minimum payments. You have to face your mistakes so you can move on from them. And then once you have all of your debts paid off, then you can start saving money for, you know, a bigger emergency fund if you want to travel and things like that. But if you are in debt, I do not recommend trying to pay off your debt and save money. Or if you have debt, I don't recommend trying to save money, because like I said before, it doesn't make a lot of sense if you have $5,000 or $10,000 in debt and a $5,000 or $10,000 emergency fund, because really in reality you're at zero. As painful as that is to accept sometimes, it just doesn't make any sense. So when you get debt free, you'll be able to save money so incredibly fast, and trying to do both at the same time is going to be insanely difficult. You're just spreading your resources far too thin. Get the debt wiped out so you can put 100% of your energy into saving, and it just works so well. My husband and I got super intense, and at one point we were saving well over $1,000 every single month on a server and bartender's income. So anybody can do it. You do not need a high income. You just need some intensity with what you're doing. So that is it, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video with some of my tips and how getting out of debt has changed my life so much for the better. I really cannot explain how good it feels to wake up every single day and not owe anybody a single penny. And I know there are so many arguments for why you should have debt and good debt versus bad debt, but for me personally, I know I sleep so good knowing I don't owe anybody anything, and I can just take all my income and money that comes in and focus on saving and investing in the future. It is an amazing feeling. Okay, and the sun is kind of like coming directly in my face right now. I'm looking a little bit washed out. Okay, the sun is totally changing on me, but I am done, you guys. That is it. If you, oh my gosh, Matthias, I need your help. Okay, you guys, that's it. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you're struggling, because we can all support each other. And I think it's important that you surround yourself with people that are getting out of debt. If you are also getting out of debt, having the community of people that can understand what you're going through is super important. And even if you don't have anybody in your direct circle, that's what we can do on here, if that makes any sense. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you on Friday in the next video. I love you so much. Did I already say that? I don't know. Bye! And until next time, guys, remember, every single day you have the opportunity to take your dreams and turn them into actions. So